So, Crimson Desert, if you haven't played this already, I'm basically going to be trying to convince you to play it, because I'm quite, I've only just sort of begun this playthrough here on PC. I'm about 10 hours in, because I actually ended up buying the game again on PC. I was playing it originally on PS5, but I mainly got it on PC because of the Ray reconstruction. And I'm basically going to be going over this game. It's been a month after the release, and if you still haven't played it yet, if you still haven't seen anything, that really makes you want to play this game, then I'll sort of be discussing it, because I think this might actually be a contender for my Game of the Year for 2026. Now, it is only April, but I really do like this game.
A quiet day is something to be thankful for.
Now, I'm going to basically just be running around and showing you, just the typical kind of gameplay, not doing anything in particular, not any missions or anything like that. Now, if I were to say what my favourite thing about this game is, I probably wouldn't be able to answer that question, because it's such a big game. There's so much to see and do. But it's sort of the kind of game where you can really just get lost in the world, and there's a lot of activities and things to do. So right now I'm just showcasing a bit of the combat with the bandits. By the way, I won't be showing anything spoiler related in this video, just in case you're worried about that. Now, I am using one of the spears I got. I don't know where I got the spear actually, but I'm using a spear. So as you can see, there's these big bandit camps that you'll sometimes run into, or they're sometimes part of like side quests, and they can have a crap ton of enemies. So I'm actually not going to clear out any of these bandit camps right now, just because they're really massive. You can also hunt for animals. They are running away right now. Lost it. There we go. And it's quite important, to be honest, because you're going to need a lot of food for healing in this game. The combat can be quite tough as you get further into the game, but it's really fun. It's not like a Souls-like combat or anything like that. It's its own thing, but I really quite enjoy it, and I do like Souls games as well, but this game's combat is very different. There are some similarities, but it is generally its own thing. There's a lot of abilities you can unlock as well. So right now we're going to just be farming some of this iron, so you can run into like different materials and sort of collect them. If you're wondering what the performance for the game is, by the way, on PC, with Ray reconstruction, I think you probably need at least an RTX 4070 to be able to run this in DLSS quality. If you're on PS5 or PS5 Pro, I'd recommend playing on balanced. On PS5 Pro you can go on performance as well. So this is a slave camp, which, you're basically trying to liberate the camp, because these bandits have captured people in a sense, and you have to liberate the camp. You have to save the slaves from the camp, and as you can see, the percentage on the left goes down as we're slaying the enemies. Now, There are different skills you can unlock as you progress throughout the game, and yeah, you can unlock a lot of stuff in the game. Combat skills, traversal skills, a ton of stuff. So for example, I'm gonna jump off this edge. We can deploy our glider. I don't think it's called a glider, but we can deploy our glider and actually speed up here. And then go ahead and land back here. And it's an extremely massive world. That's one thing I will say. Everything you see in the background, you can basically go to it, or you will go to it at some point. For example, I'm right over here in the map. If we zoom out here, this is just part of Hernand mainly, which is one of the regions. Then you've got all of this area. This is all part of the map. The Leisure, Crimson Desert, which I haven't even got to, not even on my PS5 playthrough. And then if we fast travel to the main sort of Hernand town, we get this little fast travel animation, which doesn't take too long. It used to take a lot longer to fast travel, but they're implementing a lot of updates to the game and a lot of fixes and stuff.
Excuse me if you got a moment.
And I really like this town. It's quite nice. You've got like a few, you know, you got the smithy over here. You can
This forge has restored many fine blades.
You know, you can upgrade
You're welcome
different
at my
weapons that you
smithy
have
anytime.
here. There's a lot of stuff to do, and the game, you know, the game has a ton of stuff to do. You've got pets over here, or you know, dogs and cats that you can pet, and you can build trust with them over time.
Well,
And something very cool happens when you build maximum trust with them. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah, I really like the town. It's very, you know, alive.
I could see a cloud plant myself.
I like it a lot. Looks really cozy, really nice. And we're just gonna call our horse, and we're gonna mark a spot on the map, and we're gonna go to it. So let's explore these ruins over here. And one thing I will say, this game looks absolutely beautiful. It looks stunning. I will say it looks a lot better on PC than it does on console, if you're going to use ray reconstruction. If not, it's not as big of a difference, especially if you're on PS5 Pro. But you know, some of the darker areas with ray reconstruction, or indoor areas, look a lot cooler on, you know, with ray reconstruction. Now, if you don't like open world games, this game might not be for you still. If you haven't enjoyed games like Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you might still enjoy this, but you know, there's a good chance you don't. And another thing I will say, the first few hours of the game can feel quite slow, and there's a lot of stuff to learn and do, and you know, there's a lot of mechanics the game introduces to you. And it can feel pretty overwhelming. But if you just stick with it, it does get a lot better. When it comes to the story, I wouldn't say the story is the main focus of this game. I've heard a lot of people criticize the story for not being very interesting, or very, you know, not being the core focus of the game, which it isn't, but I wouldn't say that it's not interesting. I'd still say that the story is incredibly maybe not incredibly interesting, but I don't mind the story. I think it's fine. It's decent. It's not the core focus of the game, of course, but this is more of an open world adventure game. You know, an easier way to tell if this game is for you. If you look at, like, if we go ahead and climb up this cliff, for example, and I'll show you what I mean. So we've got some ores over here first of all. Let's collect these. So you can use sort of different materials to upgrade weapons and things over time. And you can climb on any sort of cliff or surface pretty much. Just like that. And I have also got another ability that I'm going to show off. So if you just do that, it's like a grappling hook ability. These abilities, not every ability that I'm showing you have from the beginning of the game. You sort of unlock everything slowly. The game introduces these things to you slowly. So what I meant before, when I was saying if this game is for you, if you look at all this sort of scenery in the background, if you don't see anything right now, you know, if you're not looking at the scenery and you're like, ooh, I wonder what's over there, I wonder what's over here, you know, or over there in that, you know, mountain. If you're not interested in discovering what's beyond, you know, in the scenery in the background, then this game is probably not going to be for you. You know, it's all about discovery, it's all about figuring stuff out and exploring. Like over here we've got a ruin. And I won't spoil the puzzle or anything, but you get into here somehow, you know, and you'll have to figure out what to do. And I actually don't know what to do here. But there's this dragon statue. You've got these two things on the wall, and then you've got these three patterns. That's what they are. 3 patterns, and you can rotate them, you can grab them, you can rotate them. But I'm not sure what anything actually does. You know, I've tried, but I can't seem to understand this puzzle. It's actually one of the few puzzles that I've really gotten stuck on for like an incredibly long time. I've never solved it on PlayStation either. So it really is quite tough. Are we going to be able to get up here? But yeah, it is worth sort of exploring everything that you come across if it looks interesting. There'll probably be something there. You know, some sort of thing. Now, if we open the map here, one thing I forgot to mention, you've also got the Abyss over here, which is its own thing. If we travel over to the Abyss, I'll show you what it's like. Again, I won't spoil anything about how you get there, what happens in the story, nothing like that. But if you're curious to see what the Abyss looks like, or at least one of the areas in the Abyss, this is sort of what you're looking at. Now, I still don't quite understand the Abyss, or like the lore reasons for the Abyss existing. But all I know is that it's full of fun puzzles to solve. It looks cool. I like it. I like seeing everything underneath me. It's quite a mystical place. Now, I believe that this is like the main temple or whatever, the Axiom Archive. Which I'm not sure what you're actually, if there's any point to returning here. But this is a good excuse to show off the indoor lighting with ray reconstruction. I think it looks quite cool. There's still some like lighting, you know, issues, I guess, or a few weird looking things in the game, but overall it's getting a lot better with patches and updates And I think ray reconstruction makes the game look way better anyway. And if we go over here, I have no idea what happens. I kind of forgot. Okay, so you get teleported outside. But yeah, the Abyss is more like sort of a place where you can just explore. Not explore, like explore and solve puzzles. It's not... I haven't seen much combat in it so far. But it's really chill, I really like it. I'm still trying to figure out how exactly you progress within the Abyss. Like, am I supposed to wait for the story to progress? Can I do it by myself? You know, because I haven't really been able to figure it out. There's so much content in the overworld that I've kind of neglected the Abyss. Now I am only, you know, I've only just begun this playthrough on Steam here, on PC. But you know, even on my PS5 playthrough, which I was 45 hours in, still early game, but 45 hours is a decent amount of time. I've seen people that have gone 300-400 hours already, which is insane. Yeah, this is what the Abyss is like, basically. Obviously, this is a puzzle we've already solved. And then, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what you're supposed to do here. Oh, right, you've got the moving platforms. I've already solved this. But, you know, I'm not sure if you can progress. But one thing that is really cool, you can just jump off and just head straight down. It's really, really cool, really epic. And you can just land anywhere you want. Now let's look at the map. Where are we actually going? Alright, we're going on to new territory. And yeah, I mean, it's really, really cool to see this huge world. You know, the world is massive. It's one of the biggest open worlds that I've ever seen, which isn't, you know, fully procedurally generated. So, you know, I'm sure the terrain isn't like all handcrafted. I assume. I'm not really sure, but the world itself, you know, it's not a procedurally generated open world. You know, the game itself is handcrafted, I'm pretty sure, or at least it mostly is, you know. And we'll go ahead and climb a bit further up. Let's see if we can make it. Just about. And it is turning nighttime, which might be a cool way to show off what the game looks like at nighttime. I do think actually it looks quite cool at nighttime if you're using ray reconstruction, but if you're not, I don't think it does, to be honest. I think it looks way better during the day. And I am using an RTX 4070. If you're wondering what the performance is, if I'm running max settings with ray reconstruction, I'm getting, without, you know, frame gen, I'm getting DLSS quality also. I'm getting, and 1440p. I'm getting about 40 FPS on average. I've kept this video at 30 FPS so that it doesn't create any problems, hopefully. But, you know, if you're very sensitive to frame rate, I would recommend just not using ray reconstruction at all. Because if you go on like DLSS performance or balanced, it looks really quite terrible when you're using ray reconstruction, because it uses a different DLSS model. If you're on console, don't even worry about it. I just put it on balanced and turn off VSync if you have a VRR display. If not, I'd still keep it on balanced, but with VSync enabled. And this goes for like if you're on Series X, PS5, PS5 Pro. As for Series S, I think the quality mode is probably best, since the balance mode runs at like 720p. There is also apparently a Switch 2 port that could be releasing at some point, which is really interesting. Oh, that is not really what I meant to do there. Is he still alive?
You should have run away.
Is he still alive? What the hell?
This one's done for.
There we go. Kill 5 enemies within 60 seconds with a bow. And it's going to be a bit tough with it with this weak bow. You know, I might have to upgrade it a bit. But let's see. Oh, look at this. We've got a German Shepherd. Or just a Shepherd, I guess. Let's pet this guy a few times to gain some trust. Alright, and now we're going to call in our horse. I will also show some of the quests that you've got to do. So, first of all, if you go on Journal, you've got main quests, faction quests, challenges, knowledge, and then notifications. Knowledge, it basically tells you about everything and everyone that you've discovered. Tells you information about them, and it's really useful. Challenges are sort of the abyss challenges and puzzles and stuff that you find in the overworld. I have done pretty much none of them. Then faction quests, and then you've got the main quests. So there's an enemy at the watchtower there. Oh, these are quite strong enemies. What the heck? Let's see if we can get a sneak attack on this guy. Alright, not the best. Let's just climb up the ladder regularly. Oh, he's got a gun. Ooh. Yeah, there is environmental damage in the game as well. Oh, he's still alive. Let's switch to our spear. I think these enemies are a bit strong to me.
Have you never done this before?
I might actually die.
What did that? Well, come on.
Yeah. Like, I haven't really leveled up my weapon at all. How's this guy still alive? Oh, he died. There we go.
How long can you hold?
Yeah, you can get a perfect dodge as well. You can do a parry. You won't have all the abilities unlocked at the beginning.
How long can you hold?
There we go. Oh, there's more. Not gonna lie, the frame rate is really not keeping up right now. Alright. I think this is the last guy. Nope, there's another one. Oh crap, there's a big guy.
You really think you can win?
Oh, he got stuck. Stunned him. And he's dead. There we go. That's a bit of the showcase of the combat. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it off here for now. You know, I feel like I've showed a fair amount, like a decent amount of the gameplay, or at least of what I can show without spoiling stuff. We've made a discovery over here with a few bandits. But yeah, we're gonna leave it off here.
Today is your unlucky day.
The combat is really fun. But yeah, I'm using ray reconstruction on DLSS quality right now on a 4070, which means the frame rate isn't really favorable. I'm fine because I don't mind having lower frame rates for better visuals. But unless you have like a 4080, maybe 4090, 5080, 5090, then it's not going to be a great frame rate on DLSS performance with ray quality with ray reconstruction, unless you're using frame gen and stuff like that. I don't really like frame gen because I don't like how it makes the game look and feel, and it's also meant to be for a bit higher FPS than what I'm currently getting anyway, so. But
You've done me a great.
yeah, we've liberated
You've done me a great
a
service.
few Palunese refugees. Palunese refugees. And we've got a little campfire over here. Oh crap, we're going into Demonis. I didn't even realise. We're going into a completely different region. I'm going to leave it off here. And I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching.
Cooking is the best.
And I'll see you in the next one.